Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Moss, and in this video series, I'm going to show you how to write a Slack bot using the Go programming language. We'll start the series with a simple example where we send a message to a channel in a Slack workspace using our Slack bot. But later on in the series, we'll expand that simple example to include a Jenkins integration. And by the end of the series, we'll have a Slack bot that is triggered when a Jenkins build completes, and it will send a message to a channel in our Slack workspace that provides the details of the Jenkins build that just completed. I'll demonstrate what the end product should look like in just a minute, but before we move forward, I want to outline the dependencies that you'll need in order to follow along with this video series. First and foremost, I'll be using a Slack API client library called Slack-Go. And I've included a link to that library in the video description below. You'll want to make sure that that library is installed on your developer machine as well as the server that's hosting the Jenkins instance. Of course, you'll need a Jenkins server with administrative access to that Jenkins server, and you'll also need access to a Slack workspace with the ability to create apps within that workspace. Also, as a side note, I've included all of the code that we're going to write in this series in a GitHub repo, and I've included a link to that GitHub repo in the video description below. And with that, if you haven't already, go ahead and grab a coffee and let's get started. So before we start building the Slack app, I want to demonstrate what the end product will look like. As a developer, it would be convenient to be notified via Slack when my Jenkins build passes or fails. And that's the use case that we're implementing here. We're implementing a Slack bot that will notify a developer when their Jenkins build completes. So if we take a look at the pipeline that I've created here, I have this pre-made pipeline that has all of the logic built into it. And you can imagine that this is, some product pipeline, and then as part of the post actions of the pipeline, the last step is to send a message to Slack notifying the team that the Jenkins build has completed. Whether it passed or it failed, it'll still send a message to Slack. So when I click build now, what should happen in this Slack general channel is a message is sent to the channel. And then you can see here the bot user posted the following message: hello, your Jenkins build has finished. And then it provides the Jenkins build details, including the job name, the build number, and then the result of the build. And finally, it gives you a direct link to the build URL. So this is the end product of our Slack bot, but we'll walk there incrementally. As a first step, we'll just get comfortable with the Slack-Go API and send like a hello world message to this same general channel in this workspace. So now that we have a good understanding of what we're going to build, let's go ahead and start creating our Slack bot. The first step is to create a Slack app. So inside of our workspace here, I'm an administrator of this workspace. I'm going to select the workspace dropdown, and then I'm going to select settings and administration, and then I'm going to select manage apps. Next, I'm going to go up to build, and I'm going to click build, and I'm going to select create new app. And let's call this app name Jenkins Go integration. Okay. And then the development Slack workspace, this is going to be for the workspace that I just showed, the Massimo-WS workspace. And then I'm going to select create app. Now under the basic information and add features and functionality, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to select bots. So bots allow users to interact with your app through channels and conversations. So I'm going to enable bots for this particular Slack app. And in order for our Slack bot program to communicate with the Slack API, it requires a token, a bot token, what they refer to as a bot token, with the correct scopes. And scopes specify the level of authorization that your Slack bot has to that workspace. So the first step is to assign a scope to our Slack bot user. So I'm going to click review scopes to add. So I'm going to scroll down to scopes, And under bot token scopes, so I'm only going to specify bot token scopes and not user token scopes, because this would basically allow us to send a message on a user's behalf. So myself, like this app would be able to send a message as Moss, and I want it to send messages as the Slack bot user. So I'm going to add a bot token scope. So I'm going to click here, and we're going to give it the chat permission. Specifically, we're going to give it chat write, which allows this application to send messages as Jenkins Go integration. And we're also going to add chat write public, which enables it to send messages to channels that this Slackbot user isn't a member of. Because otherwise, if we don't give it this permission, then we'll have to add it to each channel or invite this Slackbot user to each channel that we want it to post messages to. So it's easier just to provide it this permission. So I'm going to go ahead and select chat write, and then I'm going to also select chat write public. And now that we've specified the scopes, we can install this new Slackbot onto our into our workspace. So I'm going to click install to workspace, and it prompts me with, do you want to provide Jenkins Go integration with permission to do the things that we specified in the scope. And so I'm going to select allow. Once we install our application to our workspace, a OAuth token is automatically generated. And this OAuth token is what we're going to use in our Go program to authenticate with the Slack API and post messages to the general channel. What I want you to do now is copy the value of this OAuth token and create an environment variable on your developer machine and set the value of that environment variable to this OAuth token. I'm not going to walk through this step. You might be using Windows, or you might be using Linux. It's platform specific, so I'm not going to walk through those steps. Just go ahead and create an environment variable and set the value of that variable to this token. We're going to refer to that environment variable inside of our Go program. So go ahead and pause the video for a minute while you create that environment variable. So now that we have our environment variable set and our Slack application has been created, we can begin writing a Go program that'll utilize our Slackbot user token to send messages programmatically to our Slack workspace. And that's exactly what we're going to do in the next video. Thanks for watching.